Okay, Grand Rising, everyone. It's Shay Seeking, and welcome back to the channel. So again, today this is just like a form of a random video, right? So um, I put a couple things together up here because I don't know. It's just where my mind is going today. Um, I had some time in the morning to kind of reflect on just stories in general and his story, in general. And the fact that, I'm realizing the more research that I do that his story, it has a lot to do with our story right now because it's been dictated and made that way by certain individuals. So again, if there might be a small minority of us that know what to do in order to move forward in a certain manner, at this time when it comes to certain legalities and when it comes to other things that people are putting in work to do. But there's a large majority. I mean, the majority of people, again, in our situation, would not be in particular in that situation, and so for me, that is a problem for me. Again, I think I am who I am today, but I think that just tuning in and going within, you know, um, the more I reflect on myself, the more other things come out that refer and resemble, I think, to those who have come in the past. So again, although we may be able to go ahead and do things like genealogy to adapt and to see again what the actual paperwork says. Well, again, we know that there were, discrepancies in families and things like that. And we know that other things were written in that shouldn't be written in for, what I'm saying? So when it comes to that kind of stuff, it could be shifty and shaky. But when it comes to a sense of knowing, and it comes to a sense of dealing, again, and that's just for each individual. Like me, I'm talking about me right now. When it comes to me, tapping into this information and finding several things that correlate with each other that nobody told me, right? Okay, that these are something of a sort of downloads or something that we can say are happening or something that's just already within, and some of us are here to do certain things. Some of us have ties to certain energies and entities because of uh, rape and what I'm saying, different things that occurred, people being stolen and taken to different places and turned it from queens and kings and those that of nobility to slaves for the next group that moved in. So again, when I look at these things, I'm looking at these, I'm going all the way to the beginning and then coming all the way to the so-called end where we are now. So again, even if it's not my story to tell, it's on me. So again, I feel like it has something. I have uh, a job to do. You know what I'm saying? To bring certain things forward that may be in a different way or a different light or a different manner than what we normally see. So again, there's nothing wrong with either way. There's nothing wrong with either way, right? But because again, a lot of times when I'm doing this, it may seem like I'm speaking self, but actually self is connected to so many. You know what I'm saying? I consider myself to be, instead of a race or a status, I consider myself to be the earth itself. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to that, nobody was here. None of us were here. Only the gods or Elohim or, you know what I'm saying, other entities and groups, even your governing forces would know exactly who you are. You know what I'm saying? So again, if we put everything aside, really, they could just go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, let you in and let you have the documents of your story. Again, but that's just to each his own how they think about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying they already know who you are. So why we playing? That's what I'll say. So again, I was just and that's just a brief kind of intro or disclaimer as to what I'm doing on this channel. You know what I'm saying? The deeper I search for myself, I find others, again, and other storylines and other things that could be brought forth that may put me in a kind of messed up situation. But again, it is what it is. So we have to remember that these groups, if we want to say, oh, we're ancient, we were here, that means that your people were here before any of this stuff that has been documented and salvaged, which would be more than likely some of the things that tied from our people into the colonizers, right? because things has to linger in, they have to mold and be formed and brought together, and then they turn into something else totally that's somewhat the same, but pretty different, when it comes to rules, regulations, laws, all these particular things. This is what happens with the forming and joining of nations. So when I look at that, the victors tell the story. So again, how are they going to make these documents look? How are they going to shift and mold the documents to be so that it can always end up being a way where it will be hard for you to discover or dictate what we're really looking at? I mean, and I don't know. I'm trying to explain it the best way that I know how. So what I'm saying is prior to, and especially a lot, we talk a lot, again, if I go off and veer off into something that is more marginalized, I guess, then I usually go into women that have been silenced over time, in empresses and queens, and things like this, that have been, the storyline has been uh either altered to make it look like these are male figures, or what I'm saying, it was hidden beneath or behind something, right? Okay. So again, I'm pretty sure there are others out there that see in this manner. But again, we're just going to go ahead and do it here. Okay. So again, today I kind of went into a zone. And again, I am a researcher. So again, I feel like sometimes when I talk about this stuff, certain energies may be getting a little bit upset or get, kind of like perturbed by me but again, I'm just someone, I don't have any type of, I'm not in any type of religion or anything like that. What I'm saying? I'm someone that is a truth seeker, and you know what I'm saying? I like uh, things like being fair and balanced, non-biased, justice, peace, what I'm saying, truth, definitely. Really not caring whose feelings it hurts, and if it puts me in a certain predicament, I mean, that's what may happen. But again, I'm just seeking that, right? Clarity, discernment, you know what I'm saying? That's what we're trying to deal with here. Uh, you know, um, love, things like this. Um, So again, and then empowering, the people in a way that people may not like. I didn't come here to befriend and, oh yeah, we look at this, and we, are in such bad shape, and it's the person this and these group of people. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot what I do on this channel, is not going to be babying anybody. We got to see what it is for what it is, or we're never going to be able to change anything. It's just going to be repetitive, uh, thing that we pass down to our children, that we are playing victim as a group. You know what I'm saying? So it may seem harsh when I'm saying some of the things that I'm saying, but it is what it really is. You know what I'm saying? To each his own as well. That's just my perspective on it and my take. But we're gonna go ahead and look at this because, okay, I was into something. I like last night. I was listening. I was trying to find something to some music or something to go to sleep to, and I ended up putting on like a. It happened to be like a Ishtar mix or something like that. Um, and I don't know, I couldn't sleep. It kind of got in, I got, I started, actually, me and my daughter were playing around dancing and stuff like in the middle of the night or whatever over this music. And then, I woke up this morning and I was kind of just like in that story. I kind of wanted, something was on my mind to look at though Ishtar and to look at Baal. Now, this don't mean I'm worshiping either one of these individuals or uh, beings. What I'm doing is seeking truth, right? So I started reading a little bit of Inanna. Okay. I can't remember what the title of the book is that I have. And it started just really fitting real well with some of the things that I see going on right now. And then I went ahead and started, I listened to, while I was washing dishes, I listened to something, and I think I put it up on Facebook, about Ishtar. And, it kind of brought a tear to my eye because, again, when I'm dealing with this type of energy, what I'm saying, it's almost as if I'm there, you know what I'm saying? As if I was, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just kind of hard to, and I only really, I don't know. I tend to see, before I even know the storyline of these women, um, I already have some type of a connection there. You know what I'm saying? It's just in a strange way. So when I'm actually hearing something about them, it kind of just is like confirmation as to what I'm dealing with, or um, you know what I'm saying, why I can relate to, right? Okay. So, I kind of went, I tried to go off of my regular schedule just to kind of, go into that and then center myself and ground myself again. Yesterday, I think it was in like a positive light. Today, it was kind of just like in a zoned out, like focused way that I was kind of listening. Okay. So anyhow, that's just the storyline. So, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Um, I started thinking about Memorial Day, and I'm like, ugh, because you see all the people outside, and that's the thing. When it comes to these holy days, okay, um, there's always going to be another meaning for it. There's always the underlining pagan or original or really just like the true meaning of what the day is for, and then the one that they gave us. So and then I was thinking memorial, we're dealing with memory, you know what I'm saying? So again, whenever they have something that may have devastated a nation or devastated a group or caused some kind of, there's always going to be something underneath that, underlining that they are trying to get you to forget about. So it's funny that it's called Memorial Day because they want you to remember this thing, but forget about all the shit that's up under here, right? So and I was thinking, just like even with memory, it's like people are under mind control. Like, people are either getting plants and stuff like that and things from the stores like that. They're shopping. They're cleaning out their yard. You go down the street and there's people that are putting garbage out and trash out in front of the curb that they don't want anymore. It's just kind of weird to me. That's just me. I just don't know. I just don't know. People do the same thing, or you're getting some kind of a get together or something that people are having. Um, and again, it's just me. I don't celebrate holidays anymore, birthdays possibly, but that's just me. And I don't have anything against anybody that does. It's just something that I just see what it is. It has something to do with uh, commerce and spending, it just has something to do with something else. And then, so I don't participate. But anyways, okay. Again, that don't mean you shouldn't. Okay. So, so anyways, I started thinking about it like, okay, so what did they want us to forget? Okay. So I'm like, so when was it adopted or established, right? So then, you see in the northern states quickly adapted to the holiday in 1868. Okay. So then you want to know what was going on in the northern states, what was going on even in the southern states, what are we talking about here? And again, this is not even going to probably even go deep. I'm just skimming over the top of a couple of things just to see if it catches friction. So, um let's see. So it goes, into all these other things here, whatever. Okay. So again, it would be important to know laws and things. I'm just giving this, just in case anybody wanted to go further. And different things that were established that day as well. Different things that were discovered that day, or within that year. You know what I'm saying? And then I think that I've found different days where I think sometime it started on July 4th. I thought that was weird because that's supposedly Independence Day. But, in some places it started on different dates or whatever. So we won't go all the way into that. We just know that 1868. Okay. So, I'm thinking like, okay, what was happening with any kind of goddesses? So in the Google up here, I have because I know how, just the way I see things is just a little bit different. So I just took the eight, I took the one, okay, because we know that the timeline is off, period. Okay. So, and that there's probably 1,000 years so-called missing, which has created some kind of shift so that we can call these particular things ancient history or mythology or folklore, all these type of things when really, again, so I took the one off, just used 868, and I put ADBC goddess. Okay. So again, right what I'm thinking about. Okay. And I didn't even know I was thinking about her until I came. But then again, all of these entities in that book, Sekhmet, and I can't remember the rest of the title, says that Ishtar, Astara, all these, I was looking at something about Astara too today. Astarte, sorry. Um, and then you know, mentioned in the Bible as okay, we won't go all the way there. So, anyways, I just wanted to see if there was anything that might go along with anything that happened to someone being overthrown. Because I was just getting the feeling that in order for these people to take that day and turn it into something, they're covering up something else that was already in place, and possibly a dethroning or a finalizing of taking, or, you know what I'm saying, something from someone else. I mean, let's just keep it real. So then I come to this thing here. And then I noticed that right here. Because again, regardless of how people think, it may be harsh the way I speak about things, because I'm just trying to keep it as real as possible without babying anybody's feelings. But at the same time, that's all I do is I think about the people. I mean, it just is. It may seem like it because I'm having to show you through my own lens, right? That is talking about me, and that I feel like some of these goddesses, you know, I'm connected to them as those who have come before us. um because just because you don't have documentation, again, whatever, just because you don't have or you do have doesn't mean that you're actually related to these particular people that people are saying. So again, that's why I think that there is the whole thing with people going through ascension and rising in that manner, and dealing with the akashic records, and dealing with a sense of knowing, and dealing with, you know, that what is within, you know. We see this in, you know, Disney movies and things all the time. Within you know. um so again, that's kind of like just what we're dealing with here. Okay. So I noticed that, you know, it was talking about here. Um, let's see. Something about 1868. Okay. I mean, 868, dealing with us. They have it Sac Hemet here. But again, the different ways of spelling it deals with different languages and different, you know, speech that people were using. You know, Germans might have pronounced it like this, and these people might have pronounced it with the silent K, and you know what I'm saying. So, anyways, I think that these are all ways to cause confusion as well. So I started to think, you know, because again, we already know that more majority of the things that they are saying and making reference to as being in different land masses are actually had a part here in the Americas, if not them being the of the old world, right? Um, just like ancient Egypt is different than modern day Egypt. Ancient Egypt will probably be, again, there would have been a portion of it, if not the whole thing, within the Americas in my mind, you know, and this is just how I see it from the information, the alternative information that I've come across over the years, in certain areas, um, you know, in certain areas, you know, we have Cairo, Illinois, and we also have Cairo, um, I don't know. Then we have the Carolinas, and you know, we have a lot of things that were found in those particular areas that have make reference to ancient Egypt, and you know, it's just so funny because even they talk about they found something here and there today. You know, if you did find it there, you probably got it from here, put it there. You can't. What I'm saying is, whatever. Like, we have to start realizing that because somebody said something and is documented and whatever, is it the truth, or is it what they've been paid to relay to you? Is it the truth, or is it what sounds like the truth, you know? So everything, all I'm saying is that we need to be questioning everything at this point in time. So anyways, let's see. And so we know that, okay, wait a minute. Okay, the historical developments of, so Inanna, Ishtar, this is just me peeking in on this and bringing y'all along for the ride. In Canaan, okay, again, I'm hearing a lot about Canaan and Cain having to do with this. Uh, Asherah, okay, so again, these are all different ways of pronouncing. Hmm. May 868. Etruscan. Hmm. hmm. Let's see. Maybe I already clicked it. Okay. So then, you know, hmm. So again, this amulet in the form of the lion-headed goddess, right? And then even, here, there's something about, because I was looking at something about Baal, or it's pronounced again. There's Baal Hammond, and different versions of it or whatever. But I was even looking at even this here, how sometimes and how they were showing the ram, and then I was thinking that those rams look a lot like the rams of from ancient Egypt that we see like in carved in stone in front of some of the temples when they show like a depiction of this. Um, and then what was I gonna say? Then it also brought me, because of my whole theoretic view on excuse me, goodness. Um Sumerian and Mesopotamian, and all of those different places having something to do with even just this. Uh, oh, there's another one that I want to say. It's okay. Anyways, that I feel have to do with when it comes to Inanna and that storyline. I feel like it has something to do with that portion of the land. That has to do with the Carolinas in that area. And so again, if you look at some of the depictions of like the palm tree, and then the two goats actually next to the deity, the female deity, and I just think I think it's blue in another color, so it kind of made me think about the Tar Heels. And then I did a little bit of research on the Tar Heels, and so it just goes deeper and deeper. We're not going to do all that today. We're just not. So let's look at this about this amulet or whatever, because I'm going to just show you something that just it's just kind of like looking at little clues or whatever. Okay, so I know we're going to say that this looks like the thing that they have like um on the ancient Egyptian headpieces, that it comes down right there and has the two different colors or whatever. But again, who knows? I know that there's always something deeper. Okay, so where are we at? I wanted to talk about this. Okay, so it's telling the date that they think it is from. But then here, the accession number. I'm like, accession number. Now, I mean, this is probably how they catalog things and put things together, but I just thought it was kind of strange that we have, if we look at it this way, 726 868. And since we know that possibly these people didn't look like these statues, these are depictions of maybe their courage, or maybe something that they the animalistic nature, or yes, the genius, or um what they would have represented as her being wise, or you know just chill until you come for her, like it's just certain things of her personality, or whatever, that I feel fit with um the lion head. I think that again, there someone is going to tell you, right, in some book that's written, or some scholar. Again, we know what education means. If you don't, go ahead and look it up in etymology. Some scholar is going to tell you something. But again, this is just my personal theoretic view. Again, I'm never here to tell you what it is or what it ain't. I'm simply sharing what it looks like to me. And maybe other people that have the same mind's eye, or same mindset as me, that have done the research, that see alternative views on these things, may be able to, it may trigger something. Okay, is all. So again, I'm just showing you how, again, you know, that no one has to teach you how to do this. You're not gonna get a X, or next to the answer. It's okay to free think. This is more for free thinkers. Well, I guess it might be into, well, it's still okay for now. Okay, we'll say. Um, So yeah, I was just thinking, okay, 868, 726. So I'm like, well, what was happening in 726, 1868? So something else came to mind about hold on, let's see. Let's wait. Let's wait. I got this. Okay, so then I was looking in one of these books that I have. It's called and I have a couple copies of these. I don't know. I like them just for like making reference to things. It's called The Timetables of History. Okay. And it's just like little timelines or whatever about things that have happened in history. And so on this particular one, let's see if I can pull it up real quick. Okay, I had to take a picture and bring it over here. Um, I was reading this. After that, I went ahead, got this book or whatever. I'm like, okay, so what was happening? So I noticed that, because again, you could put the little A thing that they use sometimes in ancient texts. Um, so it says Brit armed expedition dispatched to Ethiopia. It says Magdala captured. So it got me thinking about this um, American Indian looking woman that was named Mary Magdala. And I think it was in the late 1800s. And I put something up about that probably a couple of months back. And I was showing how the image of Mary with the baby Jesus and how it correlated, how it looked next to the picture of this Mary Magdala. And I think it might have been her mother. And then the hat that looked like a sun disk that, so I was just showing, symbolism or whatever in that picture of how that kind of correlated with that. Okay. But I noticed right here, this shogun or gun, shogun, key. I don't know. And I was just thinking ink, like again, I think these things because of course there are living gods again. And I think, you know, I look at the word as living. I look at things that we just don't realize or we don't know because we've been taught to see things in a different way than what it really is. And I'm not no scholar or nothing. I'm just someone that's just, you know, I think how I do, and I tend to gravitate towards other people that may not think exactly like I do, but they also trigger thought, you know. Um, and it's kind of just like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the stuff is not going to come with any kind of documentation or anything because this is just a way, right? So it says of Japan abdicates, and then I was starting to think about the jade color of that amulet, and we talking about Japan and the Japanese in America. Then I think having something to do with the Japanese in San Francisco. I think it was the Japanese. Um, and it says the shogunate. I almost said knight, like it. Uh, abolished. And then the Meiji dynasty, restored. Hmm. But anyways, when I excuse me, when I noticed this, I noticed that here it says, I started looking at this a little bit differently because I said, okay, you have the S here. Now I've seen, this is just the way I look at things, guys. Okay. If you're on this channel and you've seen some of my older work, you'll know, how I look at things. But we have the S here, right? And then we have the ek. And I'm not weird, dude. I brought my daughter in because I like to look at the sometimes through the lens of a child. And I kind of asked her, if you look at these three words here in a thing, like what do clump together, or like what do you pull from here? And she said segment. And so it was just like, okay, so maybe we are going somewhere with this. So anyways, you have the S here. And then I notice a lot of this when I'm correlating biblical names with historical names. Okay. So we have the S, the ek, and then me. Now, it may not mean anything, guys, right? It may not mean anything. I'm just looking. Okay. We're just investigating and we're questioning and wondering. So It also says that in 1868 that President Johnson was impeached for violating a tenure of office act, but excuse me, acquitted by the Senate. And then it has here the Israeli becomes Brit. Prime Minister resigns same year. Prussia confiscates territory of King of Hanover. Um, oh, Sumerian. That was the word I was looking for earlier. Okay, too late. Let's see. King Michael, Siberia. The third of Siberia or Serbia. Okay, I'm gonna have to go get my glasses in a second. Was assassinated by Milan. Revolution in Spain. Queen Isabella II is deposed and flees to France. Uh, Ulysses S. Grant elected president of the U.S. So again, you wondering what was really going on. It's what we think we know, but we really have no idea. And then the 14th Amendment to U.S. Constitution protects individuals' rights against infringement by state governments, denies government office to certain Civil War rebels, and repudiates Confederate war debts. Hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. Okay. So we're just looking at a couple things that was going on in that time. Okay. So then, we have the impeachment of Andrew Johnson, um, or what was, you see, the shogunate is abolished in Japan. The Abyssinian War mm, ends as British and Indian troops capture Magdala and Ethiopian Emperor Tewodros II commits suicide. Hmm. So again, the way I see things is, on this different scale where some of these things again are representing or symbolic for things that are actually going on with us the people, again, especially the ones that are involved in certain movements and stuff like that are again, it's kind of like, it's like a spiritual warfare, you know what I'm saying, where you might have died on the field, you know what I'm saying, in that realm, you know what I'm saying, but you may be still here, or some of us may end up experiencing something, that triggers us or happens here, but the spiritual world, you know what I'm saying? So this is just me just being just a random girl, just, you know, saying these things to you through my lens is all. And then on July 9th, 1868, Louisiana and South Carolina are the last states to ratify the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution, guaranteeing civil rights. So again, this is all kind of funny because what are, how much do these things have to do, you know, eh, with the Carolinas, you know? Hmm. Let's see. Okay. So, let's keep going. Let's see. Okay, so we all probably know like the general what they say, that Sekhmet, whose name means she who is powerful, or the one who loves Maat or Maat, was the goddess of the hot desert sun, plague, chaos, war, and healing. She was created from the fire of the sun god Ra's eye when he looked upon earth. You know, it kind of remind me of like that heat. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even that heat. It remind me of that heat in my earlier days when I was doing this kind of work, you know. But I think at some point, again, what it feels like spiritually, um, that at some point in time, with some of the distractions and things that came my way, that I was turned into a house cat again. But then also I look at some of my soul sisters, and I actually see us kind of like, so it's not just me that I'm saying is in this energy. I'm just saying that, I can see it in some of us, especially now, all the work we've been putting in, and then now, you know what I'm saying? Um, so, so Ra created her as a weapon to destroy humans for their disobedience to him and for not living in accordance with the principles of Mayat. Sometimes she is seen as the daughter of Geb, the earth, and Nut, the sky. Okay, so again, and that's how I look at it. Like on a spiritual level, I feel like at some point, it may not stay that way. It might not have always been that way, but at some point, just being able to tune in to both. Okay, so let's see. She was terrifying. She was a terrifying goddess. However, for her friends, she could avert plague and cure disease. She was the patron of physicians and healers. Um, so again, I was just looking at these kind of things and see what things like this can even, correlate with any of these things that were actually going on. I know it's saying 868, but in 1868. I mean, yeah, 1868 or 1869 even. Or just even within that time. Because I noticed that a lot of these amulets and everything, they said that after seizing certain places within and around that time, that, then they stumbled across these particular things. And you're just wondering what really was going on. How long and when was the last real, for real overthrow of a origine colony? You know what I'm saying? And who were they? Were they, you see what I'm saying? Descendants of these particular people? Were we talking about all these thousands of years ago, or are we just talking about hundreds of years ago? Like, I'm just saying, I just think people cannot wrap their heads around the fact that we've been educated. Look it up in etymology. That's all I'll say. Um, okay, rejuvenating and mourning the dead. Let's see. I want to go into something else that I found very interesting around that time. Because, like I've been telling you guys, it feels as though. Hmm, okay. So we'll stop there with that part. And then I'm going to go into something else. Because, again, we're talking about female deities. And we're talking about women warriors, again, that, again, have come in the past. And maybe some of the ways that we look at some of these historical events may change, because we're going to talk about something that have to do with radium, okay, in the next video. And it just so happens to be around this time again too that this was used. Same thing I was trying to explain to you guys in that book called The Spring, when it comes to Esther, that they were using hypnosis and different things in order to trigger things in her. And I feel like, again, with some of us, that they are doing the same thing. Someone's doing the same thing today. um, they always wanted her to drink something, things like this, certain water and stuff like this from a certain place. And I just wonder, because I know that in times of war the women are left alone, and then I know that women are very valuable beings, and that it's just always happened that way. It goes on, and if we don't address some of these things, again, it's the same way. And so, very valuable assets. And our minds are strong, our intuition is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? We are just some uh, beautiful beings, and that's just it. Packed with all kind of riches that are more valuable than silver and gold. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. I did, and like I told you guys the other day, when we're talking about mining, and then you think about your mind and how today, a lot of people know certain things are going on with them, outward things, and then there's things that are going inward. And so again, I'm just someone that is just going to talk about those things. I'm not afraid to, even though it can come off wrong and then you can be looked at in a certain way, but to me, it really doesn't matter anymore, I guess. You're damned if you do and you don't. And again, people that think that they have all their ducks in a row and they're protected, the way that they're able to access us these days, unless when you got those documents, you know what I'm saying? They were able to put some form of a extra shield of protection around you or something. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter at the end of the day. That's all I'm trying to bring light to, is that we can't cause any type of we're going to start causing some kind of racism between each other, whether you have this and that or you do this and that, when again, at the end of the day, they're not going to stop and ask you for that piece of paper when you're getting pulled over by the police, right? They're not going to ask you for that piece of paper when they're sending direct waves towards your head. They're not going to stop. You see what I'm saying? So again, this the way I'm so dramatic. I think I go all the way in and then all the way up to see. I want to look at it from both ends, from here, and then I want. That's why I can't stand when people say don't look back, even though I know it's true to a certain extent. I'm just saying, mind games, like. Hmm. Now I know spending too much time in the past. Again, that's happened to me, where you get lost in translation or you get lost in whatever's going on right now. But if something comes to mind for you not to go back and look, I just can't. And that's probably why I'll be stuck where I am. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the way that I see things and think. But um, yeah, so anyways, I was looking at this. All of that came to mind. The fact that they gave Sekhmet they came up with some kind of concoction and gave it to her. And I told you guys a while back that I feel like it has something to do. It might be symbolic for something else. That yes, it might have been something in her drink, but it could have also been some type of distorted view, right? A distorted way of looking at something that made her go in this other direction. And I feel like in that way, there's all kind of technologies and all kind of forms that they can use nowadays in order to get you to look, and again, lionesses are lions, but the curiosity killed the cat, 9 lives, you know what I'm saying? This is kind of like that, right? So today I was actually being a little curious. So you see, and the guides tell me, girl, sometimes you just got to shut your damn mouth. But again, this is not any kind of, I'm not going against any kind of governing force or anything like that. We're just looking at, they go and look at this stuff all the time and tell you and write books about it. There's hundreds and thousands of books, you know what I'm saying? We're just looking at it in this way. Because I find it funny that there was another, when I looked up this particular date or time, and I think it might have had something to do with, I might have put goddesses something, 868. There are some interesting, and I'm gonna tell you guys this, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go. But some interesting acts and stuff that I ran into. hmm Yeah, like the let's see, an act concerning the rights of American citizens in foreign states. That was one from 1868. The wait, expatriation, I don't know, Act of 1868. Um, let's see. And then the Act of July. Oh, and then the Act of July 27th, 1868. which was, again, like I said, I took those numbers and flipped them from that a session of the SecMet, a session of whatever it was you guys just seen here. Let's see what it's called, a session number, and I flipped it, and we got, um, I just used 726 868, but here it's saying this act of July 27th, which would be the next day, 1868, 15 Stat 223, while the act preamble rhetorically proclaims the natural and inherent right of all people to I'm gonna have a hard time with this word and I don't know why, expatriate themselves. Its title is an act concerning the right of American citizens in foreign states, and its operative parts are concerned with that subject. So again, I thought this was, and then it also has something to do with the act concerning the rights of American citizens in foreign states. Again, that one was on July 27th, possibly the same thing or very similar. An act to establish a new land district in the state of Nebraska, be it enacted in the Senate, and it kind of cuts off right there. I'm just looking at something on my phone. You know what it's kind of making me think? Almost even like, what was that Nebraska? I don't know. From the movie, oh my goodness, what is that movie they just remade it this year? Goodness, where all the people, it was like an illness or whatever. Oh my goodness, y'all. And all the people had to go and flee. Oh my goodness, I think it's just even one word. Okay, it's not gonna come to mind. The Stand. The Stand. I don't know. Something about that kind of reminded me of the movie The Stand, because then when I started looking a little bit more into some of these things, I don't know, I was seeing things that were talking about uh, what happened in Omaha. I mean, mm, the Wall Street thing, the Black Wall Street. Um, oof. And there's always the story that they tell us what really happened, and then whatever is underlining, the parts that you just won't get, unless you do some deep searching and seeking. And that means within and out. So, again, after this, I want to go ahead and talk about this radium thing, because, again, that kind of made me think about something. Because I think that started in 1868, them using this against women, or on women, right? Okay, and they called them the radium girls. And I think I put an article, or I posted something, a video or something on my Facebook page today, about it and how it was affecting them and what they were using it for, and it was a wartime thing. And if we think that there's not still some kind of civil war, particularly brewing or going on, or had been already going on, right, it might even be over. This may even be a marker or a mark of that's been going on underneath our nose. They tried to do, one second, they tried, one second, they try to do a so-called race war. They try to do all these other things. It didn't happen. So again, you know, to think that there may not be some underlining spiritual warfare or something going on would be ridiculous, or had gone on. So again, I'm going to go ahead and stop there, and I will see you guys in the next video, because I really want to talk about this. Take care. Hold on one second. Oh, don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and join us in the Facebook group American Aborigines Unchained for more alternative information. I'll see you guys later. Bye.